Hello, and welcome to the show. So, we're going to be discussing She Hulk Episode 3, the new Marvel show. And I'm here with Selena.
Hello.
Okay, so we just binged episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's 6 episodes, right?
Um, okay, before we get into this episode, how do you feel about the direction of the show?
I feel like there's no direction, but I do feel like this is more of a comedy type show. I think you mentioned it before to me. It feels kind of like Malcolm in the Middle kind of show, something to just
Yeah, it's supposed to be a
watch.
sitcom.
Yeah, so there you go, a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
More than an actual show that can relate to the Marvel Universe right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the comedy is something that I'm enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super cringy, I guess,
Yeah.
but certain parts can be cringy.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm enjoying the comedy. I am enjoying the Jennifer character. I
Mm-hmm.
do really like her. I think I mentioned it before, but I really do like her as Jennifer Walters, right? Is that her last name? Jennifer
Yeah.
Walters.
Something like that.
Um, I like her charisma. I like everything about her so far
Mm-hmm.
from what we've been seeing. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to get used to the She-Hulk character or the She-Hulk or her as She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm starting to get there to where it's like, okay, she's the She-Hulk. Okay, She-Hulk is fine, I guess, with her change in moods and outfits. But anyway, I'm starting to like the show.
Yeah. You're starting to like the show. Like, we're. You understand we're more than.
Yeah, halfway
Yeah,
done
like,
through
I think there's
it.
only two more episodes left, and
Yeah,
you're only starting to like the show now.
no.
That's a problem. And you know what? Here's the thing. For me, at least, I feel that there's just no. I'm actually looking at it right now on IMDb, and it has a 5 out of 10 rating, so it's not good. Uh, I don't think it's the worst thing on television right now. I think The Rings of Power is the worst thing on television right now. Unfortunately. And let me just walk you through She-Hulk episode 3. So in this episode, we she has to represent Emil Blonsky, who's Abomination, and there's some fairy girl who like changes.
Oh yes, she
She's like an elf.
transforms or
Yeah,
she
she's
shift
like
changes, right? Like
yeah,
she
she's a
she
shapeshifter,
there you go, shapeshifter. Shifter.
and she shapeshifts into somebody called Megan the Stallion. I don't know who that is. Um,
She's a rapper slash singer artist. I don't know.
yeah, I don't care. Anyways, so here's the thing for me, and we're just gonna talk about this episode specifically. I know we can jump into the other episodes, but we'll do that later. Episode 3, she has to represent Emil or Abomination. He's transformed. He said that at this point he can control when he transforms into Abomination and when he's normal. He's very zened out. He's not the same character that he was in
The first or
in
the whole.
in the Hulk movie. He has like 5 or 8 wives or something like that. 5 wives, I think.
Yeah, like spiritual wives, or I don't know what you
Yeah,
call them.
all pen pals that he made in jail. And yeah, there's like, for me at least, in this episode, I like the introduction of, or I like that Wong is in this episode.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's the standout character,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So he kind of pops in. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the one that brought him out to do the Fight Club thing that we see in Shang-Chi." And then he basically, when the court people are like, "Oh, so you broke this guy out of jail?" He's like, "Oh yes, I did that." And when they were about to tell him, "Okay, well maybe then you should be in jail," he kind of like,
He
"Okay, I have
kind
to
of
go
bounced.
now."
He said, "Bye."
You gotta bounce. I gotta go fight some demons or whatever. And he just dips out, and I find that really funny. The thing is, though, so it's supposed to be a sitcom. Nothing about this is funny to me. Um,
That episode, you mean, or this episode, episode 3?
yeah, episode 3, none of this is funny to me. Emil Blonsky finding his wives and falling in love with them, that's not funny. Uh, even, um, I just said his name.
Mm.
The Sorcerer Supreme, Wong.
Long. Mm-hmm.
Even him coming in and out, I found it enjoyable. I still didn't laugh. It's not funny.
Yeah, I don't think this episode was actually funny. I
Yeah,
think the only thing that I liked was seeing Wong come in, like, oh, new character. Well, not new character, but you know what I mean. Oh, Wong's here.
yeah, and then we have this side story going on with the shape shifting elf,
Mm.
turning into Megan Thee Stallion, and this guy being like, "Oh, are you really so narcissistic and self-absorbed that you think that Megan Thee Stallion would date you?" I didn't find any point in that. So to me, it was just kind of like a waste of time, and that's how I feel about this entire episode. Uh, do you think we needed this episode?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think we could have been fine without this episode, unless they're gonna show something in the last few episodes about Wong and the Abomination Zone.
Yeah.
Unless they show anything about them, then I get why this episode was necessary. But I don't think this episode was needed.
Yeah. And I'm gonna keep asking you this after every episode. Do you know what the show's about right now?
It's about She-Hulk living her life.
That's not interesting. That's not
But she's a
interesting.
lawyer, so she's living her lawyer life.
Yeah, that's not interesting. I have like I don't know anybody who has any interest in any of that. And okay, this show is clearly focused towards girls and women. Obviously, I feel like that's kind of like the audience that they're aiming it at. And I'll talk about this in later episodes. But none of this is interesting to me. And that's sad, being such an MCU fan, that I go on here and I try to watch this show, and I feel like I enjoyed WandaVision, I enjoyed Loki, I enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Even Hawkeye, I wasn't very into it, but I liked some of the stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it and I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy this episode.
Yeah, I think this. Honestly, I didn't even remember what this episode was about. You had to
Yeah, it's
remind me, and
very
now I'm like, oh yeah, that happened.
it's very
I
forgettable, and
totally
it's
forgot about it.
funny that you bring up Malcolm in the Middle because you're rewatching it, and
Yeah.
every now and then I end up kind of looking over and watching it with you, and it's funny, like
Yeah.
it's enjoyable, and we've already seen is this show over and over again. If you put on How I Met Your Mother, same thing. If you put
Mhm.
on any show that you
That 70
put
show
on,
just
Married with
I
Children,
love that 70 show too.
that 70s show, yeah, I find it enjoyable and funny. Nothing about this is enjoyable or funny. So rate this episode from 1 to 10 for me, and then I'll give you my score, and then we'll move on to.
Okay, I'm just gonna go with what came to mind and a 1.
Oh, 1?
Yeah, a 1.
Yeah,
Just
that's
because
fair.
I
1.
I didn't even
I wanna, I
remember
wanna,
what this was
I wanna
about.
ask you about this. There's some controversy going on about the post-credit scene, which is She-Hulk twerking. How do you feel about that?
I don't really care to be honest.
You don't care?
No, I don't think it was necessary to have,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't care. If I don't know if they thought this was something that was going to be comical or I just didn't feel any comedy, I guess. I didn't think it was funny. It was just kind of like, okay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. So I don't think it's a big
Well,
deal, but
so I watch soccer, European football, and one of the things that happened at in awards for like some of the best players, the Ballon d'Or,
mhm.
the golden ball, basically.
Mhm.
This is the award that Messi and Ronaldo have been trading off
Oh
for the
yes.
last
Mhm.
like 10 years.
Mhm.
So they finally interjected a woman's division in there. And so this was supposed to be this big deal, right? And I forget who won it, but the woman who won it, she's basically named the best female player of the year.
Okay.
And there was some controversy behind it because as the presenter was giving it to her and, handing her the award in front of everybody,
Uh-huh.
he's all like, give us a little dance, like show us a little twerk or something like that.
Wait, the
And
presenter told her that?
yeah, and it was outrage everywhere because it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this was her special moment, her special
Yeah.
time, and you just completely took that away from her
It was giving what?
over
Taylor
some,
Swift and Kanye vibes?
yeah, over some sexist remarks.
Mhm.
And I like the fact that everybody rallied behind her and they were like, dude, what the hell are
Yeah,
you
what are you
doing?
doing?
Like, this is her special moment. This is her representing women, and you ask her to twerk in front of everybody.
So
Like,
he said the word twerk or did he
yeah,
just
yeah,
say
yeah, yeah. No,
dance?
he said twerk.
Oh, he
Like,
said
he
the word
legit said the
twerk.
word twerk. Yeah.
What? I thought he just said dance or something.
No, no, no. He's
He said
like
twerk.
twerk or something like that.
What the heck?
Like, dude, you wouldn't say this to Ronaldo. You
Yeah.
wouldn't say this to
To
Lionel
Messi.
Messi.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say this to Mbappe. You wouldn't say this to any Pedri, no other player in the world. You would say this to, but this girl, just because she's a woman, you're gonna ask her to twerk for you. And so there was this big outrage, and he came out
Mhm.
and he apologized, and it was good because it's never gonna happen again.
Mhm.
And it's women being represented in a proper way where they're not just there to be eye candy. They're not there to dance for you. They're not there to entertain you. It's not that. They're there for the same reason that the men are there. They're there to compete. They're there to be the best of the best. Watching She-Hulk twerk with Megan Thee Stallion, for me, is like taking one step forward and two steps back.
I agree with you in that sense. I don't think it was necessary, and I also, like I said, I don't know why they had it. I was just kind of like, what? Okay, let's move on. I just
Mm-hmm.
kind of was like, whatever about it. But I don't think it was needed. And
But
I don't think it was funny either. I guess I get their point of them wanting to come off as funny or comedic because
mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Megan Thee Stallion is known for twerking because I think she's the one who did that song with Cardi B that is very outlandish and
Which song? The WAP song?
Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. The WAP song.
WAP song. Oh,
She's
okay.
the one
She's
who
the one.
made the song with Cardi B. Like I think she raps in it.
Okay, so that's
So I think she's known to be that type of.
trashy garbage. She's known to be trashy garbage then.
No comment on that, but
Trashy garbage. No, it's trashy garbage. And this is I was gonna actually say this for later videos. I wouldn't want my daughter watching this because I would want my daughter to watch a show about a woman trying to be a lawyer in a man's world and her trying to move forward and her making power plays and her basically showing just how good she is at her job. Nothing about this shows me any of that, or at least a woman being funny. So let's talk about the comedic part about it.
mm-hmm.
Fleabag is, in my opinion, a very similar show, but it's miles ahead of this show because the writing is miles ahead.
And I think, how do I express this? So I get you comparing it to Fleabag, but I feel like overall the content of Fleabag isn't really a Disney thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we can really compare it
Well,
to She-Hulk.
Phoebe Waller, who's one of the writers and the showrunner for Fleabag, is writing the next Indiana Jones movie, and she's one of the writers, and she's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be in the next Indiana Jones movie. She's also working on another Star Wars project, so she's working with Disney right now.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it's not about whether or not this is Disney, whether this is for kids. It's not about that. It's just, is it good or bad? And Fleabag, the reason I'm comparing it to Fleabag is because in Fleabag, the main character, Phoebe Waller, breaks that fourth wall and talks to the audience. And that's why I'm saying it's very similar to this
that's
show.
what you're referring to. Okay.
Yeah.
So confused.
So
Like, how are you confused?
the format it's the same format. It's a comedic show.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on a woman, and the woman breaks the fourth wall, is constantly talking to the audience while at the same time going into whatever's going on in the episode. But the writing is just superior. And I feel like this show's fine for a 4-year-old who has no concept of what's going on in reality, but even then they want to watch cartoons.
They want to watch the Mickey Clubhouse.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna wrap it up at this. This episode was a giant waste of time. There's nothing important about this shape-shifting elf. Nothing important about that storyline. There's no reason to have She-Hulk twerking. Because let's face it, let's be honest. These characters that they're introducing right now, at some point, they might be the leaders of the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
I don't want the leader of the Avengers to have a clip twerking with Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B or any one of these garbage trash artists. And that's just my opinion, but I don't want them anywhere near that crap.
You're being a little harsh, but I get your point.
Yeah, and I'm being harsh because we were actually just talking about this, about representation and all this stuff. Who does this benefit? It doesn't benefit women because it's not good. And I'm going to go ahead and compare it to House of the Dragon because that's on right now too. Another show that revolves around a woman or a young lady who's fighting for basically her birthright to be the heir of the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And all these guys are basically telling her, we'll never support a woman on the throne, blah, blah, blah. But each week, I feel like when we watch She-Hulk, we're constantly going, when is this episode going to end? We've even skipped through it. Like, I didn't tell you until after I saw you doing it.
I wasn't doing it. I was thinking about doing it.
No, you were doing it. You had already skipped.
Rewinding it.
No. Your thumb was on the forward button. You were skipping through it.
Thinking about it, but I didn't click it.
Nah, you were skipping through it. I saw it, and then I told you like, oh, I did the same thing where I skipped through it, and it happens with Jurassic World, the newest one that just came out, where we went to go watch it in theaters,
Uh-huh.
and I legit in my head I'm like, this is gonna be an action scene that's gonna last anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I have no interest in it. I'm gonna take a nap, and I took a nap in the loud ass theater while it was running, and that's how bad it was. If I was there, if it was on a VOD, on a video at home or on demand, I would have skipped through it. And here I'm finding us skipping through this, whereas House of the Dragon, we're hanging on every single word. And we're like, we're even rewinding it. We're rewatching episodes that we just watched because they're that good. And it's about, once again, a young lady fighting in the man's world. But we don't look at it that way because it's a good show. It's just a good story.
Mm-hmm.
This, on the other hand, it's not funny. It's not interesting. We don't care about any of the characters except for Wong, who we already cared about before this show, and what's her name? Jennifer Walters.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer Walters.
Yeah, I like her, and we're making her. This show, it feels like this show's doing everything possible to make me
her,
not like her.
Or I think, it's funny because I was thinking the opposite. I feel like they're trying so hard to make everyone like her that they're making us dislike her. That's how I feel it's coming off. Like, let's make her do everything that anybody might like so that everybody can like her. But at the same time, it's causing the audience to dislike her or feel conflicted on, do I like her? Like, what's going on here? That's how I feel.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that makes sense.
well, look, for me at least, I watched this show and she's kind of like the only person that's definitively part of this show, as in one of the main characters in this show. And I think there's 2 or 3 characters that I like in the later episodes. And she's one of them. But I feel like part of the reason why I like her is because she kind of rejects this world. Where she's like, yes, I'm She-Hulk. This is me. Don't get used to this. When she's talking to the audience, I really like her. And I feel for her, especially in her sad moments.
Mm-hmm.
But the more they ingrain her into this world, the less I like her. And I think you're right, where the more they try to make you like her, the worse it's gonna be.
Yeah. I think they're trying to push her character so much that it's making it unlikable because of that. So maybe it's like what you're saying, it's just bad writing at the end of the day.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, so WWE has this, I grew up watching wrestling, and they have this philosophy where they're basically like, if everything's a 10, then nothing's a 10, right? So some of the things have to be, some of the matches, some of the segments have to be on a lower level.
Mm-hmm.
And they specifically set out to do that. And I'm watching this and I'm like, are you guys
purposely doing
purposely
that? Maybe
making
that
this
is
bad?
that they're doing. Maybe it is.
I don't understand it. I don't know. Yeah, that's just it for me. On a scale from 1 to 10, I give this episode, I'll give it a 3.
Okay,
I won't
you
give
were
it a
nicer than
1.
me.
Yeah, because I feel like the episode that we just watched was a lot worse. But yeah, I'll give it a 3. Anything else you want to add on to that?
No, I'll just keep it for when we talk about that episode.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you guys for episodes 4, 5, and 6, I believe. And leave a comment, leave a like, share, subscribe. And if you disagree with us, let us know in the comments, please. We're more than welcome to the conversation. Have a good day, guys. God bless you all. Bye bye.